Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome Ocean City's own Luke Anthony Welsh.
Good morning. Thank you, Your Honor, Mayor Gillian, Senator Van Drew, Congressman and fellow combat veteran Bob Andrzejczak, members of the Ocean City City Council, my fellow veterans, Troop 32 Color Guard, and everybody else who could take time out of their busy Memorial Day weekend to be here with us today. My favorite number is 42. It has been appearing in my life in one way, shape, or another for as long as I can remember. Some may know it as the answer to life, the universe, and everything, from Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was also a call sign in Afghanistan I flew under, Assault 42. Today I would like a moment to discuss another way this number appears. It was the 42nd anniversary of the end of the war in Vietnam. In Vietnam, 58,209 servicemen and women died. Many more were listed as MIA, and to this day, ongoing searches for their remains and the repatriation of their continues. It is for those men and women, as well as those of the other conflicts and wars, that we are gathered here today, to those that made the ultimate sacrifice. Just last month, on April 8th, our nation lost Staff Sergeant Mark de Alenkar of the 7th Special Forces Group. 5 children lost their father that day. Mark's uncle remembered the determination Mark had when training to be a Green Beret. They told him he had to lose some weight, so Mark would put on a backpack and put bricks and books in it, and you would see him running up and down the road, getting in shape to re-enlist. Jansen Robin recalled, the Alenkar wasn't just training to wear a uniform. The Edgewood, Maryland native was training to protect our freedoms. And that's exactly what he was doing when he gave his life fighting ISIS in eastern Afghanistan. In 2014, I deployed to Fob Shank in eastern Afghanistan along the Pakistan border. I went with the 10th Combat Aviation Brigade. I had the privilege of serving with some of the bravest men and women I have ever seen. For those that don't know how this works, we send ahead what is called our ADVON, or Advanced Envoys, that meet the units that are there and get brought up to speed, which is typically a few dozen soldiers. 2 to 3 weeks later, we send a main body of the brigade that usually is 100 to 300 soldiers at a time. Days before our first main body moved into country, tragedy struck our ADVON. The first few rockets of what would be a few hundred over the next few months had exploded and killed 2 men. Robert Hess and Aaron Blanchard were killed on April 23, 2013. Coming back to the day, Memorial Day was not always known as Memorial Day. It has its roots as far back as ancient Rome, where statues were erected to the fallen members of the Legion and annual days of remembrance, including festooning their graves with flowers and feasts in their honor. In the United States, it started out as Decoration Day. In May of 1868, General John A. Logan, the Commander-in-Chief of the Union Veterans Group, known as the Grand Army of the Republic, issued a decree that May 30 should become a nationwide day of commemoration for the more than 620,000 soldiers killed recently ended Civil War. On Decoration Day, as Logan dubbed it, Americans should lay flowers and decorations on the graves of the war dead, whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in our land. 4 years later, the Uniform Monday Act went into effect, moving Memorial Day from its traditional observance on May 30th, which was regardless of the day, to the last Monday in May. This also changed the name to what is now used as Memorial Day. I would like to challenge each and every one of you to go to your local American Legion, VFW, or other veterans center and talk to these brave men and women sitting in the audience next to you. Hear about the history that your children and you may only read about in school textbooks. You're going to read about it firsthand from those who weren't there. Talk to these men and women and hear about the firsthand accounts of those that were there. Hear about their struggles, hear about their friends who died valiantly in the line of duty, and remember the fallen and their sacrifices are more than just numbers on a page. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is our honor to